Hello and welcome to Dighton, Kansas. And we are at the Dighton Inn motel here. And it's like the only place to stay if you're in Dighton. But we're also going to explore around Dighton and tell you a little bit about the history. Going to take a little walk downtown. And then after that, we'll come back here. I'll show you the room. And then maybe we'll visit some other places in town. So let's head down and check out the history of Dighton, Kansas. Dighton is located in Lane County, which is in western Kansas, kind of right in the middle of western Kansas. And Dighton is located right in the middle of Lane County. With its population of 960, 61% of the total population of Lane County resides within Dighton. And it is the only town in Lane County that is incorporated. It's had a very roundabout way to becoming what it is and how it became the county seat. We'll start with back in 1862 with the Homestead Act that offered 160 acres to homesteaders who could live on the land for 5 years. It was definitely difficult land to live on, but anybody who could live here for 5 years could own the land. And that attracted a lot of people initially. And in 1878, there were 4 men from Great Bend, Kansas, that came and established a post office in 1879, and they named it Dighton, spelled Deighton, so with an E in there, and it was named after the surveyor, Richard Dighton. Then in 1880, William Watson, who was a Methodist minister, arrived to the area and platted 40 acres, and he named a town after himself, Watson, nearby. So then in 1885, a group of people from Wichita came to Watson and established a town, basically reestablished the town of Dighton right on the corner of Watson. And then the name got changed to Dighton when the first issue of the Lane County Herald was printed in 1885, and they spelled it that way in the masthead, and there was never an explanation of why they left out the E. When the county was organized in 1886, both Dighton and Watson wanted to become the county seat. Watson was selected, but then they ended up changing the name of Watson to Dighton. There was a financial boom at the time. Many western Kansas towns were also growing significantly, and then Dighton continued to progress since it was the county seat. And then, as you can see in the population figures, it would increase pretty much all the way until 1970, and it peaked at 1,540, and then slowly started to decrease and is now down to 960 today. Okay, we are back at the Dighton Inn. So it's a small hotel room. This is obviously for a single, and it's cheap. It's only 60 bucks. But, you know, it's classic hotel, made, built a long time ago, so you're not going to get a ton of extras. Fairly comfortable, pretty small bathroom area, and shower back there. So yeah, that's the Dighton Inn motel. So let's check out one other thing here in Dighton before we head out. We end our video at the Lane County Historical Museum. This was put together in 1977. It was not open on this day, but I called the number and they came over and let me in. It's very nice of them. You walk in and it has pictures, old pictures of the towns that have been in the county. A lot of these are unincorporated and ghost towns, and some of them are in videos I've done previously. But just really cool. There's an old picture of Dighton's Main Street, and really good way to learn about each of the communities. Nice old sign there, and there's a couple main rooms, and then in between there's this really cool map of all the different old schools and post offices and just different historical places with a different color for each pin. This is kind of the main area that has a lot of different exhibits. It was one of the advertisements they used to try to get people to come out to the booming town of Dighton back in the day. And there's the Lane County Bachelor song. That's a famous song if you have lived out in this area, and here's a little bit of it.
Bachelor I am, I'm keeping old batch on an elegant plan. You'll find me out west in the county of Lane. I'm starving to death on a government plane. My house, it is built of the natural soil. The walls are erected according to Hoyle. The roof has no pitch, but it's level and plain. And I always get wet when it happens to rain.
As we walk around the rest of the museum, some old, areas to set up to make it look like old businesses. A lot of people ask me about how people farmed in these areas. It was so dry, and so it talks about that. It's kind of a hilarious picture of a giant grasshopper, but grasshoppers were a huge problem. It really took a toll on crops back in the day, so it was a significant part of the history of the county there. And outside, they have a sod house that was constructed to be similar to what people lived in. This is very common for people to live in these back in the day. And then, of course, our favorite, the Death Go Round. And you can go out and check out what the kids used to play on. So a really nice museum, and thanks to the curator for letting me in on the day that was closed. And hopefully you have enjoyed this tour of Dighton, Kansas. Hey, you made it all the way to the end of the video. And now that you're here, let me tell you a little bit more about all the other things going on this channel. If you want to become a member, you can become a member on either Patreon or YouTube memberships. There's 3 different levels, and as you are on a different level, there's more and more things, behind the scenes videos, different things that you're going to be able to gain access to. Make sure you check out my website, travelwithawiseguy.com. There's a whole bunch of new stuff on there. There's a merchandise link with some new cool merchandise. There's a newsletter that you can sign up for. About every 3 weeks I send out a new newsletter that's free. I have Google Maps, which has documented every place that I've made a video about, and you can click on there and you can go to the map and you can find the videos that I made, and it's all in one very convenient place. There's lots and lots of other stuff on there, so make sure to check out the website and explore all around what I've got going on. But once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and now on to the real reason that you're at the end of this video, the outtakes. These are some interesting decorations.
Civilized people thought Kansas was the end of the earth. But Uncle Sam offered folks 160 acres of free ground. They just come out here and live on it for 5 years. Most women folk didn't come out right away. They waited till their husbands got settled. So most of us fellas ended up playing bachelor for a while.